Hey, welcome everybody. This is time for Bollox Talks and
Talks and Tangent.
There you go. Bollox Talks and Tangents. I haven't even started drinking. I have way too much blood in my alcohol system to get started. But we're doing theme parks, but not big ones. Only the little ones.
Little crazy wacky ones.
Some open, some closed. Do you have any closed ones or all yours open?
I saw some closed ones. I didn't do any closed ones.
Okay. I only did one closed one in it. I just found it interesting because it was so close to us.
Local, right.
So close to us. So I just want to say hi to everybody out there. I appreciate you guys. If you would, if you're watching with us right now, hit that share button. And we're going to talk about our sponsors right off the bat. Lenny, are you ready to go?
I'm good.
All right. You stretched out?
I'm ready. I'm limber.
Okay.
I'm loose.
All right. St. Augustine Distillery and Citygate Spirits. These guys just do an amazing job. A lot of great flavors. Just love them down there. I appreciate what they're doing, and they're not afraid to take some risk with their flavors. And I think that's what makes them a little bit different at Citygate over there. So that tasting tour is excellent. You're gonna have some flavors that you really don't see in a lot of whiskeys, and it's right here in town. So
they're good,
right on Sponsor Road.
And the flavors are strong. I mean, you know how I feel about the peach, but some of the rest of them are very good too.
Yeah, it's excellent. Wonderful food at Meehan's Irish Pub. They do an amazing job during Night of Lights. Get down there and see them. They're 3 bars in one. For us locals, that means you pretty much want to go during the week, because on the weekends it gets a little crazy downtown, and we're about to invite the crazies in.
Yes, indeed.
But at Meehan's, they handle their crazies better than anybody I know.
It was fabulous because Julie and I went on a date night there on Monday to beat the upcoming rush. And the handsome Reggie was there. I hadn't seen Reggie in a little while. That's what I said. I said, I can't believe I caught you. He said, I can't believe I'm still here and awake.
Oh.
So, yeah, it was very wonderful.
I don't think I've seen him there at night a whole lot.
Nope, that's why I was surprised and very pleased because I hadn't seen him in too long.
Yeah.
And I had the fried shrimp, and it was delicious.
Fried shrimp? I haven't had that there.
Yeah, it's excellent. It really is, yeah.
Wow. I might have to
fries, yeah.
Might have to try that.
Yeah.
And they have a great buffalo sauce, a buffalo fried shrimp.
Yeah. Ooh, now we're talking. I didn't even think of that.
About that. Yeah. All right. Bear Kresge and Associates. These guys are the best CPAs in town. They keep me out of trouble. And for the first time in a long time, I overpaid last year.
Wow.
Yeah. I don't do that often. I don't like government having my money.
Exactly. I like when they give it to me.
So I paid forward. I didn't get a rebate. I know a lot of people get that rebate, but I didn't get a rebate. So I paid forward for 24. So
it's and
Bear and Kresge and Associates. There's the guys that make that happen for me.
I'm not sure of this, but when you pay late, you have to do interest and sometimes penalties.
Yes.
When they pay you late on your refund, I don't think they give you interest. So it's once again whose fingers on the scale.
They say that's your fault.
Yeah.
Because you really don't know until the next year.
Right.
A lot of people pay in advance, and and I do on my salary
estimates.
Job. On my salary job, I do. No, I don't. The estimates come at the end of the year.
Yeah,
for me.
Yeah, those estimates are always confusing.
Yep. All right. I'm not going to estimate on this one, and I'm going to tell you right now, this museum is one of my favorite museums I've ever been to, and that's St. Augustine Pirate Museum. They have over 800 artifacts. They do amazing tours there. It's great for little kids, big kids, us older kids. Who doesn't love a good pirate story?
It's fun.
Yeah, and they go into the whole golden age, and you tap on them, and you can literally sit at that computer all day long and just enjoy yourself reading your way away through the pirate world.
And it brokers into the real world because the stuff you learn in the Pirate Museum, you end up finding out there's this guy, Josh Gates, I think, who does some expeditions around the world. You think he's an archaeologist, but he's a communications major and something else. But he was digging under Petra and found a couple of new chambers in Petra. So that was really pretty interesting, and that was pretty fascinating, really. But I've got one on tape that I watched, and it's the pirate treasure that's up in New England. And there was one pirate, and I forget who it was, but he was in a couple of the shows that he was one of the guys. He didn't get out alive, but one of his cohorts did, and they kept going back up to New England and hid all their loot up around Cape Cod. So they would come down here, they would do their dastardly pirate deeds, and then they'd go back up to New England and be great about it.
And live like gentlemen up there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Because that's where his wife was. These guys got married and had kids, and they'd come home. It was like they were commuting.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They'd live like gentlemen up there, like they didn't know of the other life.
Right.
Their wives usually didn't even know of the other life. But when they came home with the booty, I guess they
made it affordable to live. Yeah, exactly.
Kind of figured it out.
Yep.
They thought they were in the trade industry.
Yes, then they were. They were having you trade your stuff to me.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not going to trade you anything back.
I'm not giving you anything back except a headache, maybe.
Right. Gonk.
And a lot of things, because a lot of the pirate life was created by the fear you created and the story you created. So there wasn't always as much killing as people believed. A lot of times they just said, okay, just take it. And without putting up a fight, a lot of times it was a negotiation of how much the pirates let them keep. Instead of instead of having to go into a fight, like, we know we're going to win.
Right.
But we might lose some people. So how about we negotiate, you get to keep, 20% of your stuff. And that would be the pirate negotiation that actually took place in a lot of times.
And for them, they'd rather, they don't want to hassle with, if there are women and other people on the ship, they don't need to drag them around. If they had a big enough crew, they didn't need to impress the sailors from the other pirate ship. Yeah. And half the time, you don't need to get stuck with a second ship.
Yeah.
If you could crew it and take it with you and then sell it, beat scuttling it, but,
Yeah. 100%. All right. Kaiser's Deli and Market, best deli and market in town. Kurt, one of the nicest owners I know. They have an amazing little market over there. It's not just a great deli. They have a lot of local vendors inside the market. But you want a great sandwich, you need to stop in and see Kaiser.
And if you're looking for beer for your Thanksgiving dinner, he's got such a great selection of beer that you can't go wrong. There's something for everybody. Even some fruit flavors. He's got some European imports. He's got some Belgian stuff from the Trappist of Monks, and yeah. And he's even got PBR.
PBR,
one of my personal favorites. Cheap can beer.
There you go. PBR, it's classic, American classic. Hopefully, Florida classic.
Please.
All right. Coquina Coast Realty, that is my real estate company, if you guys hear it every week. But I also do consulting through Walking Man, Walking Man Consulting. But if you're looking to buy, sell, or looking to rent something, give me a call. My number is 904-669-7901. That's 904-669-7901. And today's whiskey that we are drinking, sir.
That's all gone, too.
And we have finished
the bottle.
Yeah, I was like, Lenny, we got to feel like we're accomplishing something today. So we went for this, and this is Kentucky Owl.
That's a hoot.
And it is confiscated, and it was developed in 1916, and I believe it's out of one of the main bourbon. The other, it's attached with some of the other ones. But it is wonderful, and it's actually it's out of Louisiana.
Really?
Distilled in Kentucky, bottled in Kentucky, but it has a Louisiana ownership out of it.
Interesting.
I did not realize that. So Kentucky Owl actually goes by way of Louisiana.
That's the circuitous route, as my grandmother would say.
Taste any cayenne in it whatsoever.
Right.
So, all right, let's get into it. All right.
You or me?
I'm going to let you go first because I have no idea. You know what my word is already.
I do.
And there's no joking about my word at all. No joking at all.
Well, it's tough to keep up with you. You're on the phone, you're planning things. You got a whole mess of fingers and a whole lot of pies. Mm-hmm. So you are just as busy as a bee.
Busy as a bee. I am. Well, I am. I'm not a queen bee though.
No,
I'm a worker bee.
Right, which is good because the drones are the lazy ones. I found doing this one.
Yeah.
So busy as a bee. You know where he came from?
Not B. Arthur.
Nope, not even Maud.
Okay, not Maud.
Nope.
Okay, where did it come from?
Came from not Shakespeare for a change.
What? I really would have not been surprised if it was Shakespeare.
I know, that's why I went this way with Chaucer, Geoffrey Chaucer.
Oh,
of his Canterbury Tales.
Okay.
So it predates Shakespeare, though Shakespeare did, and in succeeding weeks we'll do more Chaucerisms, which were then co-opted by Shakespeare, the little plagiarist. 1392 in
That's a couple weeks back.
The Canterbury Tales, he wrote "Busy as a Bee," which is easy to pronounce and say in English. But if you looked at the Chaucerian language, man, it was tough to tell what he was even writing. You had to, even phonetically, you're coming close. But he knew that bees were busy. The queen would loll, but the worker bees were constantly busy making the honey, getting the nectar, doing whatever they needed to do with the pollen from the stamens, and then going back to the hive with it. And the drones were just lazy. The drones just laid around.
Yeah.
So.
A recent bee incident during the last storm, hickory tree, one of the limbs fell off from the wind, and it was still hanging. So we had to cut off the limb to get it to go to the ground. Mm-hmm. Unbeknownst to us, it had a honeybee hive in it.
No.
So when we cut it off, usually when a honeybee hive hits the ground, it collapses and it kind of kills the hive. Very unique. I called my bee guy. He still was pretty healthy the next day, and it stayed healthy. But it split the hive in two. I didn't know this because there's only supposed to be one queen. Mm-hmm. If a hive gets split in two and they stay healthy, the other one, because we left it for about 7 days to make sure it was still going to be okay, because bees are important to us.
Absolutely.
Are very important to us.
Certainly for agriculture, for sure.
This hive created another hive on the side that broke up. And so instead of it being a bad thing, it turned into a good thing.
Right.
And because, normally we're talking a hive like this.
Yeah.
The tree was about like this. The limb where they were living was like this. And that's why it broke, because it was completely hollow.
Right.
But it was real dark honeycomb. So it means it's an older hive.
Okay.
And when it started developing the other one, I was just absolutely amazed of the survival skills of bees. Are fascinating to me.
Yep.
I mean, they're just amazing to me. So I don't.
And less aggressive than people think.
I think it's a very good compliment to call someone busy as a bee.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not sarcastic at all.
Well, but what is sarcastic?
Okay, well, sarcasm.
Yeah.
If you want to know the word origin on that, it's all Greek to me. It comes from the Greek word. Sarcasm comes from the Greek word, and it's sarcasium, all right? And it literally translates as to tear flesh.
Wasn't he a football coach in the SEC?
That's Sarkasian.
Okay, right,
So,
yeah. No, right. It was close.
So and you weren't being sarcastic.
Oh, I was.
Not at all. But it means, basically, it's to dig at someone.
Oh, okay.
To tear flesh from them. Like if you're sarcastic to someone, you're tearing the flesh from them.
Rending it. Huh.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow. The Greeks really were sarcastic with some of their words.
Yeah, they were. Yeah, it's funny because it's either Shakespeare or Greek or Middle English.
Yeah. Middle English pops up a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, because I speak Southern English.
Right.
And you speak New England English.
Well, not quite far up there.
Yeah.
But because you can't get that from here.
You can't get that from here?
No.
So what is New York? New York's not New England.
No.
Okay.
No, New York.
I thought that was,
and it's barely mid-Atlantic. It's it's like the limbo land. It's not quite in New England, and it's a little further north than being mid-Atlantic.
Reason, as a Floridian, in my brain, I thought New York was the start of the New England states, but it's not considered a New England state, huh?
Not to me though. I may be mistaken. It could be, but I don't think it's not. You know,
Like, can we get an official definition of all the New England states? Because
Right. Yeah.
because you're closer to the region, I'm
Right, and it very well may be, but you know,
lean towards you being correct. But in my brain, New York starts the New England, and I'm born and raised in Florida, so what the hell do I know?
Connecticut qualifies, but I don't know that New York does.
Okay, all right. So we're going to get an official.
Also, because New York goes so far west, and that may be part of the reason why it may not.
All right, so it's Connecticut, Maine,
Connecticut,
Massachusetts,
okay,
New Hampshire, Vermont.
New Hampshire, Rhode Island, Vermont.
okay,
End the list.
that's it.
Okay, so no New York, right?
Six states.
Yeah.
Yes, correct. 6 states.
Okay.
And then but there are some people that's like Quebec's part New England. No.
Okay,
No,
so
that's not even Old England anymore.
yeah, but in my mind, also Boston and New York are right beside each other. So
It's like one of those New Yorker covers where they've got the map and they've got like New York, New Jersey, and then nothing, and then California.
Yeah.
Blame Amtrak for that.
Amtrak, because it was such a quick ride.
Yeah.
On Amtrak, so it was like, oh, they're right beside each other.
Yeah. Well,
So
pretty much you got to. Yeah. Well, you just got to survive Connecticut.
yeah. So that's the way it works in a Floridian's brain.
Okay.
All right, we're talking about theme parks.
Yes,
and we're
we
talking
are.
about small theme parks. I have 2 that are still around and 1 that is no longer with us. And the one that is no longer with us is one that was very close to us. It was only about 20 miles south of us. And I talked a little bit about it on Tuesday night with you, and this is when you brought this up. And I had to bring it up. All right, Marco Polo Park. So, Marco
Polo.
Yeah, Marco Polo Park.
Because they give a damn.
Yeah, wrong show.
Sorry.
They give a crap, Lenny.
Yeah,
Not on this show, they don't. That's the other studio.
he can say damn on Bollox. But it was also known as Passport to Fun World.
Oh, okay.
All right, and it was around here in St. Augustine. It only survived for about 5 or 6 years. And it basically was between Jacksonville and Daytona near Bunnell on exit 278. And it was the site of where Plantation Bay Golf and Country Community is now. You know where that is? Mm-hmm. Okay. The park's theme was based on Marco Polo's legendary travels through Europe and the Far East. The brochure provided a park's entrance gave this description. Like Marco Polo himself, you'll be wonderstruck with the authentic, I'm sure it was so authentic,
Exactly.
Oriental,
There you go. Well,
splendor, and your personal voyage to discover the journey of exotic 4 worlds of the Far East, Turkey, India, China, and Japan.
okay.
All right. And beautiful Venice,
Okay.
Right.
Canals, huh?
your port of exportation. So, and it had some park rides, puppet shows, multimedia shows, and other attractions. And it was just kind of Epcot before there was Epcot at a much worse version of it. So it was first envisioned in 1967. It was opened in 1970, closed its doors in 74, reopened, had 2 fires in 75. It reopened in May of 75 and then closed again and sold at auction. It closed again in 76 and sold at auction in 1978. Now, I was alive during this
There was
time.
not a lot of happiness in that place, apparently.
Yeah, I was alive at this time. And I do not remember this park at all. And if anyone out there in the comments remembers this park, I do not remember this park in any way, shape, or form. And Tim just brought up Six Gun Territory. That was a park I did visit. I loved the train there and the guys. The gun. You ever heard of Six Gun Territory?
No.
So it was over near Ocala, and it was like cowboys and Indians, and they would do gunfights in the streets, and they'd shoot them off the
balcony,
roofs,
yeah.
they'd fall off the balconies, and it was a lot of stuntmen. It was really cool.
Huh,
but this
cool.
park had a couple different rides. Had a log flume. In India, it had a log flume. It had flying chairs rides.
Not flying carpets?
Yeah.
Whoa! Hey! I just saw something that's very freaky. So the Daytona Beach Morning Journal posted they actually had the front page of when the Marco Polo site was announced. The day of it is very close. It's like June 28th, 1967.
So it was announced 2 days after my birthday.
Well, there you go.
I was born 2 days. So I was the inspiration.
And you don't remember it?
I was the inspiration of this park.
You said you were here. You just didn't say you were lucid or aware.
In Turkey.
Okay.
The two rides they had 3 rides in Turkey. They had the flying chairs ride in Turkey. The spinning turban ride, which was a centrifuge ride, and twin bumper car rides, which would fit one adult and one child. In India, they had the log flume, the flying elephant ride. In China, they had, of course, the teacups.
Not in
the
Japan?
spinning teacup ride. And in Japan, they had an 82-foot high. That's 8 stories. That's pretty high
pagoda?
place. Ferris wheel with spinning gondolas.
They're big on spin. They were just
They like to spin.
getting kids puking all over this park.
Yes. All right. Some commercials for the attraction featured a jingle which alluded to the common Marco Polo swimming version of Blind Man's Bluff. Get into the swim, the place to begin at Marco Polo Park. There's things to do for me and you at Marco Polo Park. It's fun for you and me, and it's made for you and me. It's Marco Polo Park. So get into the swim, the place to begin at Marco Polo Park.
Wow, just doing
That's
that.
my version of karaoke. You're welcome. And Blake just put a picture up
Yeah.
of that and all the different rides that are there. And like I said, it all got auctioned off in 1978.
You know, it's funny, you singing their theme song just reminded me of one I completely forgot about. Palisades Amusement Park in New Jersey, which had a big saltwater wave pool, and they had their jingle playing all year long. Come do the rides, come to the pool. It was just, yeah. Yeah, and that's dead and buried as well. So is Rye Playland. A lot of them have gone under, unfortunately.
So what do you have? I had to do that one just because I know there was a lot of locals here.
Right.
I did not know about this park. I did not remember this park. Someone the other night when I mentioned it said, "Oh yeah, I went there."
Right.
And they said, "Oh well, it wasn't a whole lot," but I mean, I went there, but it
sounded like there was plenty of
You
stuff.
saw all the rides there.
Yes.
It seemed like
everything was hanging on a chain and spinning.
It was a lot of spinning.
Yeah.
It seemed like
chairs and elephants and teacups.
Seemed like a lot of possible vomiting.
That's exactly right. That's what I'm thinking. Well, as I'm looking around, I found a couple of different ones. I've got some themed ones. Found a couple of Santa and Christmas themed ones. A couple of religious themed ones. But in honor of our hero and mentor Pete Melfi, I found a couple of carousels. Carousels.
Oh.
There's Carousel Gardens Amusement Park. And that is right in the middle of New Orleans. And it's a 1,300-acre park in the middle of the New Orleans City Park called Carousel Gardens Amusement Park. It's 170 years old. It was built in 1854. It's got a botanical garden.
Carousel Park. Where is it?
New Orleans.
New Orleans.
Yeah.
So when you say the capital of Louisiana, do you say New Orleans or New Orleans?
I say Baton Rouge.
Okay, thank goodness.
Been on the show for a while, Troy. I'm getting good at this.
You ever hear a joke about a cross country?
Yes, I have.
Save it. My boss watching.
Yes, I have.
I'll hold off on my jokes.
That's all right. I can always do it for you and save you from it.
Yeah.
It was interesting because it was $25 to get into the place now if you're over 36 inches tall. If you're under 36 inches tall, you're free.
Oh, okay.
So it must be this tall to ride.
Yeah.
Yeah, I finally passed that point.
Yeah, the
I
clown
think it
out
was
front
30.
should have told
yeah,
you that.
Right. They've got a botanical garden there, a miniature golf course, paddle boats, an art museum. I mean, the thing
This is still open.
Yep. An art museum, a storyland with walk-through park with larger-than-life sculptures, bumper cars, a tilt-a-whirl, a small roller coaster, and a carousel for Pete that's over 100 years old.
Oh, my.
So, right in the middle of New Orleans.
I was at a theme park that had a double-decker carousel at Legoland.
Ooh,
It had a
okay.
double-decker one.
Nice.
So, and that's in New Orleans.
This is in New Orleans, Carousel Park, yeah.
Yeah, and it's still open.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
All right.
It's been going strong for 170 years. I'm impressed by that. I really am.
Wow.
Yeah.
So it doesn't have a French name.
No.
Okay. All right.
Unless we find out that next week we'll do a word origin or in a couple weeks called carousel and find out that it
find out
comes from the
carousel.
French. Right.
We might have to do that. Mm-hmm. We might have to do that. All right. And this you've never been there, right?
No,
Okay.
no.
Is there any on your list?
I've been to New Orleans, but yeah, no.
Yeah. Is there any on your list that you've actually been to?
No, I have a city, because I did a place called Dutch Wonderland in Lancaster,
I
Pennsylvania.
have Dutch Wonderland.
Right.
So-
which reminded me of Solvang, which is a town in California that I've been there, which is basically it's a Danish village, and it's a tourist attraction, but it's a real life town. And Solvang I've been to, but no, I haven't been to. I mean, I went into dinosaurs. I went into arcs. I like this one, Dig World in Katy, Texas.
I have Dig
That's
World.
pretty cool.
I have Dig
Yeah,
World. I
yeah.
have Dig World and Dutch Wonderland. So
Okay.
let's hit those two before we do our break. Sometimes great minds think alike.
That's it, baby.
And if you guys don't understand, we don't really talk about what we're
No.
bringing to the content.
Just the
And
topic.
Every once in a while we cross over. So Dutch Wonderland really caught my eye. It's 48 acres.
It's a kingdom for kids.
So if you want to know, okay, I really don't know what 48 acres is. That's almost the exact size of Treaty Park.
Do you get a mule with it?
I don't think you do.
That was only 40 acres.
That was 40 acres and a mule, and would have to be in the south.
Okay.
This is in Pennsylvania.
Lancaster, yeah. Pennsylvania Dutch country.
All right.
Yeah, big pretzels.
So it's 48 acres, and the park's theme is Kingdom for the Kids, like you said. The Clark family sold the Dutch Wonderland to Hershey Entertainment Resorts Company in 2001. They also operated the Old Mill Stream Campground at the same location, as well as a gift shop, the Kitchen Kettle Village, and this one in a nearby, I don't know if I can say the name of this city, Intercourse,
Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania.
They can't keep the city sign for more than a week.
I cannot imagine how they can keep that sign. I am 50.
Stolen forever.
I am in my late 50s. And if I had the opportunity to steal that sign, and I don't steal,
Right.
I'm not a vandal, but I'm pretty sure that's a sign I'd have to take.
Right.
It's almost asking you
Right.
to take it.
I don't think there's a fraternity house in Pennsylvania that doesn't have one copy of that sign.
Yep. So next to the park, they operate a Wonderland mini golf, easy for me to say, Wonderland Cinema, which was demolished to make room for parking in 2014 and 15. The Hershey Entertainment announced that they sold Wonderland to Palace Entertainment. The park has 32 rides, a tropical theme interactive water play area called Duke's Lagoon.
Was that for Duke the Dragon? Because they had Duke the Dragon and they had Merlin the Magician running around that place.
Yes, and they have happy hauntings during the extended seasons. But the rides actually looked pretty good. They have 3 roller coasters, and they look like they were legitimate roller coasters.
Well, I hope so, because it's not inexpensive now, and it may be because Hershey bought it. But for 3 and over, age 3 and over, $50 a pop.
Yeah, I had it at 48, but
Yeah.
it's probably after taxes. It's definitely there.
So I thought that was a little ritzy.
Yep.
But it's interesting because I didn't know that Hershey bought it, but I did find out that, in Hershey, I haven't been to Hershey, Pennsylvania, which is, and that's, big enough to be not included in our small theme parks. But Milton Hershey started that as a recreation space for his employees before it became, the theme park that you get within 12 miles and all you smell is chocolate, which is not necessarily a bad thing.
They did have a monorail
Ooh.
in 1968. So that beats Disney World's monorail.
Okay.
And they have one that I think is a good transition into our next one. Is they have one called Duke's Dozers.
Dozer.
Like
right.
bulldozers.
Right. Okay.
All right.
Right.
It's a kiddie ride where children ride bulldozers. It was moved from Hershey Park in 2003, where it had been called Earth Movers before. Now that leads us right into
Dig World, baby, in Katy, Texas.
It's a grown-up park.
Except for kids, but yeah. No, this is kids too.
Oh no, but you get to ride full
Yes.
caterpillars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and kids get to play on them too, because I'm amazed at how many kids, primarily young boys, are fascinated with construction equipment trucks, earth movers, backhoes, caterpillars, anything like that.
I'm 57 years old. I still love them.
Yep.
If you dig a hole with good backhoe, it's still fun.
Yep.
It's still fun, even though it's work and you're like,
Right.
it's still fun.
Yeah. Drive a steer skid. Yep.
Well, I can tell you, like when back in the day when we had to build parks, one of my favorite things was actually working and getting the grading right on the field and getting that portion where it all, because it showed on the first rain if you did a good job or not. And you see those we call them bird baths. If you left a bird bath in the middle of the field, it really screwed things up.
Right.
So you would actually either turn on the sprinklers and see if you created a bird bath and then do it over again, or you wait for the first.
And you get satisfaction because there's nothing better than leveling a piece of land and knowing it's level. Yeah.
No, and you also get to play with
big trucks.
Play with big trucks.
Yep.
But I mean, Dig World. It's in what part of
Katy,
Texas?
Katy, Katy, Texas.
And isn't it owned by Caterpillar?
That I don't know.
Yeah.
All I know is you can ride excavators, you can pick up cones, you can drive, dig, fish objects out of ponds.
Like,
and it's $25 for 2 hours.
Can you pull up pictures of Dig World in Katy, Texas, please? All right.
Yeah.
So, have you ever operated a bulldozer?
No, skid steer.
Skid steer.
Yeah.
Okay. So, what about a backhoe?
Nope.
Oh man,
Nope.
So much fun.
Nope.
So much fun. This one's one. If I was near Katy, I would have to stop in there.
And you know me, I'm dyslexic, so some of the ones that don't have a steering wheel, they have the two levers to turn around. I'd be spinning in circles because I would, I'm
dyslexic too. And there, he's got it pulled up right there, and this is where they do allow you to do the full dig with the backhoes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I'm pretty good with that because it's right and left.
Yeah. See, but I don't do right and left well at all.
Oh, you don't do right and left well?
No.
Okay.
No.
I don't know if that's dyslexia or not. Is it?
It's some form of it because all I know is I have to stop and think. And people, see, I can't even do it. Left.
The one that makes an L.
Yeah.
Here, Lenny, hold up your left hand.
Okay.
Hold up your right hand.
Yeah. Wait, what am I in?
He's back in France.
The French Army again? Yeah. Nice try.
He's
By the way, I
back in
only, yes, who was in France, I only put up one hand because I knew where you were going.
Knew where I was going with that joke.
Absolutely.
I've used it so many times.
Yep.
But Dig World is something. If I was close to that area, I would say, all right, we're gonna have to go. We're gonna have to go spend 2 hours there.
That would be fun. And only $25 for 2 hours.
Yeah. I mean, that's less
reasonable.
than a meal.
Yeah, that's reasonable.
That's like a dozen eggs.
And if you get cranky, you just take off with one of those things and dare them to come catch you.
I think they got them locked down.
Yeah.
It looked like the way they had them spaced out.
Yeah.
You weren't moving them. You were only allowed to go so far.
Right,
I think
with the up and down and I
think they got it guarded pretty good. But
and no gas in the tank.
Yeah.
Right, you're not going to make it.
Yeah, it's all electric.
Right.
All right. I want to go through our sponsors one more time. Coquina Coast Realty. If you have any commercial needs, residential needs, give me a call, 904-669-7901. Interest rates are going to be going down. It's the time to buy. So give me a call, 904-669-7901. All right, Kaiser's Deli and Market. They have the Bollox over there. Ask for the Bollox. Do half turkey, half pastrami. And it to me
Delicious.
is just an amazing sandwich. St. Augustine Pirate Museum, they do a wonderful job. They don't just do the Pirate Museum. They also do the Colonial Quarter. They do the Oak music series. They have the Taberna Bar. They have Bull and Crown.
Yep.
They have the seafood, St. Augustine Seafood. Just wonderful people doing an amazing job here in St. Augustine. We'd not be the same town without them.
No, and the Oak is doing a tremendous.
Crushing it.
The bands that they have coming in there. Some of them are name bands, but a lot of them aren't. And they're local artists, but the music there it's a great selection of music they have playing at the Oak. So that's real good.
All right. Also on our list, Meehan's Irish Pub. Talk about it, Lenny.
Just there the other day, had the fried shrimp. My wife got confused because she doesn't think that you should give cocktail sauce with hot shrimp. It should only be for cold shrimp, and it should be tartar sauce for hot shrimp. And I kind of agree with that, but I'll just squeeze lemon on it and a little Tabasco.
Tartar sauce is not going shrimp. Tartar sauce is not going shrimp.
Well, it doesn't matter. I
fish.
use lemon and
Tartar
Tabasco.
sauce is for fish.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And if you're in St. Augustine, cocktail sauce works
For cold. Right.
All right, but use daddle.
Yeah, pink sauce.
You
Go to Osteen's and get the pink
No,
sauce.
do the pink sauce with the actual daddle.
Oh, yeah.
In the pink sauce mixed together.
Yeah, that's what I said. Lemon and Tabasco for me is all I really need.
Not Tabasco. That's not hot sauce.
Well,
That's now we're back in Louisiana.
okay. Well,
Yeah.
see,
Which
is apparently where Kentucky Owl comes from.
The cayenne and water.
Right, exactly.
So no,
Yeah.
we got to have the
And
daddle.
vinegar.
And I think my man out there, Tim, will agree. We got to have the daddle on the shrimp.
Works for me, man.
So-
I've got my I'm ready because I've got my crop from 2024. I got a couple of quart-sized bags filled with my daddles from this year's harvest.
All right, now I got to make you a batch of chili.
Okay, and I'll make you some daddle sauce.
Yeah, I got to make you a batch of chili.
Okay.
So, all right. Also, last but not least, St. Augustine Distillery and Citygate Spirits. St. Augustine Distillery named the #1 distillery in the country.
Yep.
As far as tours go, they do amazing tours, amazing lessons there. I think you and I need to kind of sit down and maybe film one of the classes.
I think we should do that.
And I'll work that out with Will
Absolutely.
and how we can do that. Citygate Spirits, amazing flavors over there, right there on Sponsor Row, across from the fort, and these guys crush it every day.
And for me, it's a lot of fun because you keep challenging me to make cocktails with the different flavors. So far, I've taken good care of the peach, which was very simple. Peach with sweet tea. The peach whiskey and the sweet tea was delicious. The mango daddle with a little pineapple juice, also
that
delicious.
the pineapple juice kicked that so good.
Yep. So now I'm going to be working on the cookie dough whiskey, and I got to do something with the smoked maple whiskey. I think
yeah.
I'm not quite sure what, but that'll be next on my challenge.
I have the apple pie.
Okay.
Over there. I have the apple pie that, but it's kind of, that and the peach are good by themselves.
We're getting
Actually,
into the
they're all
season.
good by themselves, but
Right.
it's how you enhance them.
But we're getting into the season where the apple pie might be something that you could work into some eggnog or something.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I can see that.
It could work that way.
See that. But I mean, and those flavors that they create help you be creative if you have a group coming over and stuff like that.
Right, it's a starting point for sure.
And it's I don't know if you've done this at parties and stuff like that, but if you're standing around the bar and you have a couple people just kind of having a little contest amongst yourselves who can make the best either shot or drink. So,
Yep.
And shots are dangerous at our age.
Yes, that's very true.
Yeah, it just happens too quick.
Hey, when I was younger, kamikaze wasn't a cocktail; it was a shot, and it's just one of the easier ones to make. It's 3, 2, 1, vodka, triple second lime juice.
Yeah.
And in those proportions, shake them up, pour them out, and just flip them back.
See, green tea is one of my favorite shots.
Yeah.
It's Jameson with, It can be done with Sprite or a splash of Sprite, and I'm gonna have to figure it out what it is. I forgot.
Nobody carries 7-Up anymore, so that's not it.
Yeah, so it's not that anymore. But it's Jameson and peach schnapps. I think it's
Makes
Jameson
more
with
sense,
peach
yeah,
schnapps,
yeah.
and it is one of the best shots. But if you put it over ice, it's a great drink.
Right,
too.
exactly.
So, all right. What other park you got over there?
Well, Let's see.
I have one closed and one that's still open.
Well, we did Dig World.
And I stayed in Florida for the most part.
Yeah, I figured you were going to, so I went around the world.
Because I went with places that I have personal experiences with.
Well, I started morphing into dinosaurs and into Santa's stuff.
Okay.
So there's the North Pole, which is Santa's workshop, which is in Cascade,
yeah.
Colorado, right at the base of Pikes Peak.
Yeah.
It's free in the summer and fall. Mm-hmm. They charge you in the holiday season, and you need to make reservations.
When did that open? Because I don't remember it being there. I think I was in Colorado Springs in 91, maybe in 90. So when did do you have a date?
I don't have the date when it opened.
So, but it's called the North Pole,
right?
And it's at the base
in the
of
North Pole,
Peak.
Santa's workshop, right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Blake,
I haven't marked down as
find
Pete's.
a date when the North Pole opened in Cascade.
It's Pete safe because there's no carousel.
Okay.
So
Pete can travel.
Safe. It's Pete safe.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But they have a peppermint slide. They have a Santa sleigh ride, and you can postmark things from the North Pole there.
1956.
Okay.
56. See, I don't remember it being there at all. I mean, what I remember about Pikes Peak is taking the cog rail up, and at the very top, because it's such a high altitude, they have the most amazing donuts because of the way it rises. The flour rises differently at that altitude, and until I went to Colorado, I didn't realize. Here our humidity is so bad. You have to roll up your chips and like protect them, and you have chip clips and stuff like that. In Colorado, you can leave a bag of chips out.
Wow.
And they don't. It's so dry, and the altitude there doesn't do anything to the chips. They stay completely crisp.
Yeah, we're that's a decision. We're getting to the point in the seasons now where it's cool at night and it's open. You can open the windows, but you still got to gauge this humidity. It was cool. 4 or 5 days ago, but it was still 80% humidity, so there was no point in keeping the windows open. You schwitz. But it's interesting because you got the North Pole.
You can go there and you get a postmark.
From the North Pole, exactly.
Okay, that's cool.
Exactly, yep, exactly. And then there's another one in Santa Claus, Indiana, which was opened as Santa Claus Land in 1946, and then became Holiday World in 1984. And then they had theme lands. It was like they had one for the 4th of July, one for Christmas, one for Thanksgiving, and then there was one random one that would keep changing. So
the story of how he morphed, and we don't have a whole lot of kids on this show that's really watching, the morph of Santa Claus. It was evidently a marketing tool. Was it by Coca-Cola or was it the Macy's? I
think Macy's, Coca-Cola came to it later.
I think Macy's was Rudolph.
Now that you mention it, it might have been Macy's because it was the Miracle on 34th Street with Ed Gwynn.
Okay.
Played Santa Claus. He was a guy that and he was the real Santa Claus. Well, because I'm
Kris Kringle.
Because I'm not jipping myself out of my Christmas presents. So Santa, you're real.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
Yeah.
All right. Just sidebar because we're going down tangents. Christmas movie that you enjoy the most. And out there, play at home too. Christmas movie that you enjoy the most.
Well, I've come late to A Christmas Story. I was never early into that one. It's a Wonderful Life is always groovy because
See, I'm not a fan of it.
I like when they're dancing, and I like Elmo and the other two guys, the cop and the other guy, the taxi driver and the cop. And it's Bert and Ernie is who they are. Actually, it wasn't Elmo. It was Bert and Ernie. Yeah, is where they came from. Those guys. Where they came from. Those two guys. I gotta go. Die Hard.
Die Hard.
Yeah.
Wow.
Which opens the conversation. Does that count as a Christmas movie? And yes, it does.
It's definitely a Christmas movie, without a doubt. Blake, Christmas movie for you?
Home Alone.
Home Alone.
Okay.
Home Alone. Okay. Maeve's been watching it the last 3 days. So
good.
She's Home Alone in it right now. We're not leaving her home alone. She's actually watching Home Alone. I have several. I like A Christmas Carol. I like Miracle on 34th Street. Never was It's a Wonderful Life. Never really got into that. But I gotta go with Elf now.
Okay.
Elf's my new Christmas movie.
Well, let's see if the new one catches on. Red 1. It's got everybody under the sun in that.
It's got The Rock in it. So
Yep.
Got a Miami Hurricane alum in it. So it can't be all bad.
JB Sikin. And there's somebody else. One of the
Dwayne Johnson.
Well, The Rock, yeah. But then there's either a Pine or a Helmsworth, one of those guys.
Yeah. Well, all the Helmsworth look alike to me.
Yeah.
So
and this might be Chris Pine.
I don't know which Helmsworth would be.
Yeah, you got Liam and you got the other one.
Yeah. Isn't there more than two? How many Helmsworth are there, Blake?
I only think 2 of them are in the biz.
3.
Okay.
But, well, who's the other one? It's Liam and...
Chris, Liam, and I thought there was a third one.
Chris, Liam, and Luke.
Does Luke act?
Yeah. I think so.
Or is he a Wilson?
Oh, Luke Wilson. That's completely different. So I think Elf is my new...
Mall Cop.
Yeah. Is that a Christmas movie?
According to Kenny.
Santa Claus for Bobby.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we got to get back on task because we do have a couple more that you wanted to hit. Chris Dunham's Christmas special, Kenny. That's good.
Hey, by the way, trivia. Man, first thing that popped into my mind was Terry Fader, and I knew it was wrong when you were asking who did Peanut and
that was one of the two.
Walter.
That's one of the two my mom knew.
Right, and man, I hurt myself coming up with Jeff Dunham at the last second. You should see the smoke coming out of my ears. The hair when I had hair was curling.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my goodness. And that was the last second I pulled it out. Oh, so proud of myself for that one. Because
I thought jalapeno on the stick would have given it
Yeah. Well, no, I knew who it was and I could visualize him. It just took me that long to get his name.
Yeah.
I'm of that age.
Oh, well, that's true. True.
But his specials are great. We enjoy them very much. Yeah.
So,
you want to go?
which ones do you have?
Well, you want to go dinosaurs or religion?
Yeah. Okay, we can go dinosaurs, but I have a question for you. And Blake, you can answer this too. Do you know why Tyrannosaurus Rex they can't masturbate?
Because they can't reach it.
No, they're extinct, you dumbass.
Oh well, damn it! Stepped in that one every time. I try to give you a real answer to a question that doesn't have one. Oh, man. You think it's easy being me? It's a lot of fun, but it ain't easy.
Oh, gosh. No. So, we got dinosaurs, and what was the other choice?
Religion.
Let's go religion.
Okay.
We're not supposed to talk about religion while we're drinking.
But this is the Ark Encounter.
Yes, the Ark
Encounter.
All right.
In Williamstown, Kentucky.
Is Steve Carell there?
I don't think so.
Okay, all right.
Neither is Indiana Jones.
Yeah. I question a lot of stories about the Ark, but let's go with the Ark Encounter.
Well, this is, it's a creation museum, and they built what they claim is a true to size...
A replica.
Of the Noah's Ark.
Okay.
510 feet long.
Okay, doesn't seem big enough.
By 85 feet wide.
Doesn't seem wide enough.
By 51 feet tall.
Definitely doesn't feel tall enough. Okay.
That's it. And apparently they snuck dinosaurs onto that one too.
They snuck...
Because these people are saying, I think these are the folks that are saying the world is only 6,000 years old.
Okay.
And, Noah brought dinosaurs. So that's a little... There you go. Thank you, Blake. That's the picture of the Ark itself. Wow. Go figure.
All right. Did you watch the movie? I think it was Russell Crowe with... I think it was called Noah.
No.
I thought it was pretty good.
No.
I'm not an overly religious man, but
nor I.
I grew up in the church, so that makes me more dangerous to religious people when it comes to stories like Noah's Ark. And my number one question is always which one of Noah's children, because there was 8 people on the ark. It was Noah, his 3 sons, and their wives. My question was which one of Noah's sons was black. Okay? There really isn't an answer for it. There really isn't an answer for it. But one of the people I've asked that question to said, well, that was Adam and Eve. They had sons. A lot of people think they only had two sons.
They had three,
but they actually had three. All right, and one of my more religious, intelligent people said, well, the black children were Cain was scarred for killing Abel, and he felt like the scar was making him black. And I said, well, that's great. Who is Noah a descendant of? It wasn't Cain. He was a descendant of Seth.
the third son.
The third son, which
Right.
a lot of people don't realize.
Right.
Adam and Eve had Seth after Cain had killed Abel, and Cain was basically
Excommunicated. Right.
So that theory doesn't work. It doesn't work like that. So the scar happened to Cain, according to his theory. And Seth is, because Methuselah and Noah are descendants of Seth.
So Methuselah was how old?
Methuselah, I think he lived close to 800 years old.
Yeah, that was something like 900. Yeah. So
it might have been 900 something.
Yeah,
Moses was up there too.
I just literally this afternoon ordered a book called
And Noah was the son of, or he might have been the grandson of Methuselah.
Yeah, I just I'm just not buying. I'm not
he's-
buying them 900 years old.
Well, I don't think the calendar was the same.
Okay.
I think it's like dog years.
I was like, well, that was like one of the greatest scenes in Inherit the Wind when Clarence Darrow is cross-examining. I guess it was William Jennings Bryant. I don't think it was Cullen Bryant. I think it was Jennings Bryant on the stand, and they were talking about creation, and he was trying to figure out how long the first day was, and he got him to admit that was it a 24-hour day? No. Was it a 48-hour day? Could it have been a 6,000-year day? Could it have been a 60,000-year day?
Yeah.
So how long was it? So I just ordered a book called the Book of God, which is a guy who just does the chronological order of the Bible from start to finish. It's supposed to be really, really well written. The guy's won awards for it. The guy's not dead. He died in 21. But I'm intrigued because, I looked up, is the Bible a novel? And,
I think
it's
an accumulation of...
Right, it is. It's a bunch of chapters or things. So it's interesting because I need to do some more. I need to do some more investigation and studying on this.
And a lot of people don't realize that the Bible was put together probably between 80 and 140 years after the death of Jesus Christ.
Yeah, this is when I looked today. It was somewhere between 40 and 80. Yeah.
Okay, 40 and 80.
Yeah.
And there was books that weren't that didn't get in to the Bible. And have you ever read any of the lost books of the Bible?
The Lost Gospels?
Yeah.
Not recently.
Okay.
No. Yeah.
So I mean, some of those are can get very dark.
Right, and a couple were ostensibly written by women, which is why they weren't included either. So.
Yeah. So, all right. So your religion. Did we even get to the park?
Well, that was it. It was
No,
just
the
the
Noah
Ark
Park.
encounter.
All right.
Yeah.
I didn't know if you were coming up with
Yeah,
Holy
no.
Land, which was a different. park altogether.
No. And there was another one. Yeah, no.
All right. So I got one more that I went to personally, and I absolutely loved it, and I thought it was one of the coolest things. And it's really in Central Florida. It's in just outside of Claremont. It's actually in the city of Weeki Wachee. And Weeki Wachee is one of those thriving metropolises. It has 16 people. And Weeki Wachee Springs. And Blake, I've never taken you to Weeki Wachee Springs.
I will, Kathy.
And I apologize. But Weeki Wachee Springs is where the mermaids are.
Weeki Wachee Water Ballet.
Yes.
Even in New York, we knew of it.
You knew of the valley?
Weeki Wachee Water Ballet, no doubt about it. Yep, and Cypress Gardens. You had the water skiers on one hand, and you had the mermaids on the other.
Yeah. They weren't.
So wait, hold on. The New Yorker knew about this before I did?
Yes,
Yeah.
baby.
Come on.
Yes, baby.
You failed, Dad.
Weeki Wachee and Cypress Gardens aren't that close together, though.
No, they're not the same thing,
Okay,
but
I just-
they weren't. They're closer to each other there than when we were in New York.
It's like saying Boston and New York are right beside each other.
Exactly.
You just,
no, I know they're completely separate
you just did
places.
my version
Right,
of
exactly,
that.
exactly.
Okay.
Well, they were in Florida.
Yeah.
And so
At least the state was the same.
right.
But they're probably about the same distance apart. in Cypress Gardens, which is now where Legoland is. And they did keep some of the botanic gardens in Legoland.
Yes.
So they did a really nice job at Legoland. I'm not going to lie. We really enjoyed our weekend there. But Weeki Wachee is where the mermaids are. Mm-hmm. And they have an underwater dance. Blake, can you pull up?
They really could hold their breath really well.
Blake, can you pull up some of the pictures of Weeki Wachee and the mermaids of Weeki Wachee? And Weeki Wachee is named by the Seminoles, which means little spring or winding river. Those two don't really mean the same thing. So I don't know what happened, but the attraction was created in 1947 by a stunt swimmer and attraction promoter, Newt Perry. All right. It had an 18-seat theater.
Wow.
And later it went to 50 seats. I remember it being very small. And I spent my 13th birthday there.
Wow.
I was still wearing my all-star baseball uniform.
You went for your bar mitzvah. Nice.
Yeah, I went for that's what I did. I got snipped long before that.
That day you became a man.
Yeah. All right. And it's been visited by Elvis Presley, Don Knotts, Esther Williams, Arthur Godfrey, Kevin Smith, and Larry the Cable Guy. And I got snubbed from this list.
Forget about it.
I got snubbed.
Get her done.
From this list. So Blake, did you find a picture for us? All right. He's pulling it up right now. Yep. But it is absolutely beautiful. The entire park is beautiful. And it is now, I think it's considered a state park now.
Okay.
So, yes, it is.
And so, which became Legoland? Weeki Wachee?
Legoland is where Cypress
Gardens was. Okay, right, okay.
Where they did the ski show.
The water skiers, right, yeah.
And I always wanted to, because when I went to Cypress Gardens as a kid, where the stadium is for this. Did you ever go to Cypress Gardens?
No.
All right, they had an amazing ski show. The ski show was great. They did the ski jumps, and they did the tower
like
of
pyramid of
10 people. Yeah. They also, I think they still might do it at the ski show at a SeaWorld now.
Okay.
But the Cypress Gardens, they did the ski show, but it was on a real lake, and the lake's kind of blocked off, but there was always people that would pull up on the backside, they had it barricaded off on their boats and watch the ski show, and I was like, man.
That's the way to do it.
When I'm older, when I have a boat, I'm gonna do that. And now they don't have a ski show anymore.
But you have a boat.
I do have a boat.
Okay.
So I could still go on that lake and pretend like I'm looking at the ski show. But I remember as a kid, I was like, man, this is cool, but that's cooler. Yeah. Being out there on that boat. Yeah. So
and look, water skiing is a lot of fun. I love to water ski. I got good at it. Slalom, one ski, but to see those people,
barefoot?
Stack up. No.
Okay, I'm gonna tell you this: barefooting is a different beast altogether.
Oh yeah.
Like water skiing, you do about 22 miles an hour, 23 miles an hour. Barefooting, you do a minimum of 28, depending on your weight. Sometimes you have to be up to like 31, and hitting your face.
No.
At 30 miles an hour on water, as smooth as that water is, and your eyelids actually can turn. By the way, I don't know if you know this, but if you hit your face hard enough, your eyelids can turn up. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Inside out, yeah.
Not the best feeling.
Yeah.
Not the best feeling. Still, you have to try it once if you're a Floridian and you like to ski. But yeah.
You gotta do it to talk about it.
Yeah. No. You try to be one of the cool kids, and you end up with face planting.
Yeah.
So, but where did you water ski in New York?
Reynolds Channel. I did it at summer camp. A bunch of places.
Okay. All right.
Yeah,
you know what? We're out of time. You got anything else you want to throw out there that we didn't get to that we absolutely have to talk about at some point?
No, but there was I was amazed to know that there's a place called Field Station, Dinosaurs. Mm-hmm. There's two of them. There's one in, where's the second one? In Derby, Kansas. And that's open. There's one in Secaucus, New Jersey, which is closed for the season.
Secaucus.
Yeah.
I've heard of 7 people from there.
In the shadow of the Meadowlands. Yes.
Okay. Excellent.
So.
All right, Lenny, great show. A lot of fun. A lot of great places. People online appreciate all your amazing participation.
Yep.
Please share the show. Support our sponsors. This is Bollox Talks and Tangents, And we won't be back next week, but we'll be back in 2 weeks, and that'll be hosted by our one and only
Mr. Blake Blevins.
Blevins.
Happy Thanksgiving to each and every one.